Welcome to the Rosie Experience. It's Rosie. I am a Christian poet. I'm also a Christian artist, so I write songs, rap and sing. But I also am I'm an abuse survivor and I've been through a lot in my life. I'm also a master stylist. There's so many different things that God has placed in my life and in my heart, right? This specific poem, he placed this in my heart um, on April 20th. And it is now July 24th, my birthday. I'm 31 today. And God is telling me that today is the day that I need to release this poem. So this is what I'm going to do. Please just listen with your heart, okay? There's so many things going on in this world that the devil is trying to force everybody to just follow his doctrine, to just follow his ways. But God said no. God said we are his children, made in his image. He created us perfectly the way that we are. So this poem is to give you some sort of inside look on how the devil gets us at a very young age to try and get us to believe certain things that are not real. This poem is called Love is Love. He was never gay. He was just a troubled child. Mom always working, daddy never around. He wasn't even old enough to have a sexual preference. But he got left in the hands of a predator and started walking with an uncomfortable dip. And do you think his mother noticed it? Not one single bit. Not only was she consumed with her job, but her love life took precedence. How could she notice her tainted love was the cause of her son's torment when she spent all of her free time hugged up with a pedophile? She had no idea his preference was young blood. Abuse caused her to only notice the sweet side of their bitter love. She didn't understand that when she got drunk and slumped at the end of the night, her man was in her son's bed, begging him to kiss it right. No, she didn't understand exactly how deep things were. So by the time her son came out the closet, she was already ready to attack his lifestyle. How could someone she carried for 9 months be gay? How could her little boy that she dreamt would bring her grandchildren cause her heart so much pain? How could he have the nerve to call her out of her name? How could he fix his lips to say that she was the one to blame? How could he refuse to go to psychotherapy? How could he assume that she was never really there for him? You see, she's asking so many questions that she will never even fathom the answers to. How can you ask her hostile questions when the problem lies within you? You heard me right. I said her. Because he now identifies as a woman. He felt betrayed by his mother and feels that he can now somehow recreate the gender by becoming one. He saw all of his mother's passive mistakes and passed them off as neglect. He was a product of toxic abuse, and he realizes that had his mother just opened her eyes, had his mother just asked him the reason he cries, instead of punching him and telling him to man up, then maybe, just maybe, his life wouldn't be so tossed up. He needs to realize that had his father just stayed, had his father taken accountability for his tainted ways, had his father been a role model that he could look up to, had his father taken time to show him his full potential, had his father stayed around to teach him how to take on responsibilities as a man, had his father not damaged his mother, then she would have had a fighting chance. Had his father been a better representation of love, he would realize that the type of love he should give men is brotherhood, not romantic lust. He should have never been improperly touched. His mother had no idea. And no, that's not an excuse. But the fact is that she missed it. That doesn't mean she didn't love him. She just missed it. She had her own demons to fight. She had to drink and have sex to even get a good sleep at night. She didn't know her self-worth because she spent so much time being treated poorly. She gave her son all the love that she had to give, but sadly, it just wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to raise him right. And his father deserves half of the blame for her losing this fight. He, she is a product of their environment. He, she cannot fathom the idea of normalcy because he, she has never had the luxury of feeling important. So now there's this social media buzz about a community full of the alphabet, promising lies such as you can change your gender as long as you feel it in your heart. But the biggest deception in that is women do not choose to be women. We do not have the luxury of waking up one day and saying, no, I want to skip the period cramps and rock out with my crock out today. No, women don't get to decide that they want to be paid on the same level as men at their jobs. No, women don't get to negotiate not being a victim of a date rape at a club. And no, women do not have this super strength that they can conjure up when they're being attacked. Women don't have the luxury of getting men pregnant, then deciding that they want to retract. Women are not allowed to speak up without being called controversial. Women cannot wear whatever makes them comfortable without being judged for their character. Pray for the little boy who had to grow up too early because a demon got a hold of his body. Pray for the little boy who wants to be considered a woman to pay his mother back for things that she didn't even intentionally do to him. Pray for the little boy who hasn't found God in his heart, so he looks to cosmetically transforming his body to feel whole. Pray for him, because there's nothing that God can't do, and there's something that he must know. No amount of surgery, hormone pills, makeup, or weave will ever change his identity to a natural-born queen. He needs to know that God made him fearfully and wonderfully in his image. He must know that God loves him so much that he gave his only begotten child to die for his sins. He needs to know that what happened to him was not his fault. He needs to know that he was never really gay. He was just raised by someone who didn't understand their position and fumbled the ball. He needs to forgive anyone who trespassed his innocence and realize that the change starts from within him. He needs to stop mutating his body and try calling on Jesus. Being a woman is not a state of mind. It is a God-given gift. Being a woman is a naturally ordained position in the kingdom of divinity. Being a woman is the toughest spot to be in because being an actual woman means that you're going to have to spend the rest of your life defending the fact that your reproductive organs are not a scientifically designed experiment. We do not choose this life, but we walk it out proudly. We are the only gender who can naturally carry a baby. Our female intuition is stronger than AI. We have the power to change the world right between our thighs. And the last thing we need added to our already complexity-driven lives is to have to defend our natural-born right to call ourselves real women, designed by none other than God. Thank you.